Are you expecting a big bonus coming up soon or perhaps a large tax return? How are you going to make this annual bonus or a big tax return change your life forever? Hey everyone, my name is Brad Reed. I spent 10 or so decades in the Fortune 500 world and got a bonus just about every year, but I never used it to change my life because I didn't know what was in this video. But I do now, so I'm sharing it with you. And I hate that wait till the end. I'm going to tell you right now what we're going to talk about. So, when you get your annual bonus, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to buy stuff to pay off bills and then hope you have enough money left off to pay taxes on it next year? So basically, the money's gone in a week or two, and maybe you've got a memory or a trinket, but you're pretty much right where you started. Are you going to invest with a financial advisor to earn maybe 7% or invest directly in the stock market right now, which has a historical long-term average of 10%? But if you look at the Shiller PE ratio and the Buffett indicator, I think you'll find that the market is insanely overpriced right now. Oh yeah, you still got to pay taxes on it. Guess what? Items number 1 and 2 are probably not what I'm going to recommend, but it is number 3. What if you invest to earn greater than 14%? It's completely passive. You get tax write-offs on that big bonus you got, and you can spend the income that you get from the investment over the next several years. What? Okay, yeah, this is what I've learned about in the last 2 or 3 years. I've been studying it. I'm finding deals like this. I am partnering with people that have deals like this. So if you want to learn more about this and you don't want to see the rest of the video, scan that QR code, get on my list. Now, the rest of the video. I have to do a legal disclaimer. Thank you to the expensive lawyers in California. After that, I'm going to show you an extreme example of comparing the purple to the red and blue. And so you can see the big outcomes. Then I'm going to get a little bit more realistic. And then I'm going to talk about how you can get started. That's what's coming up. Thanks for sticking with me. Okay, this is not financial advice. This is for education and hopefully some entertainment only. There is no offer to buy or sell a specific security or investment in this. There is certainly no tax advice. There is no accounting advice or legal advice, although a big part of this presentation has to do with tax implications. So you got to talk to your accountant. There is some legal work that has to happen. So you got to talk to your lawyer. All investors bear the responsibility for their own investment decisions. There is risk in every investment, and you have to be able to understand that and weigh that and make sure that this is a good decision for you and your family at the time that you go to make that investment. Should you want personalized financial advice, please seek a competent individual in your area and be sure that they are experienced in this type of investment, because many are not. You're going to have to hunt and find the ones that are. All right, let's say you get $200,000. Yeehaw, right? I'm from Texas. That's how I used to talk. Maybe this isn't just your bonus. Maybe you win the lottery. Maybe you get a gift from a family member. Whatever. We're going to get extreme here. $200,000. What's the YOLO, you only live once strategy? You pay off bills, you take luxury vacations, you buy a fancy car, you spend it, right? And then after it's gone, the money's gone, you got a couple of trinkets that may be worth more than they cost, but probably not, right? Cars go down in value, vacations are, you get good memories, but they're not worth anything after you come back home. So let's say you spend the rest, whatever's left over with a financial advisor, you get 7%. Oh, by the way, did you save enough to pay your taxes or go to jail? What's on the left here in the blue and the red is what most people do. This is how our brains work. This is how our brain has been conditioned by watching commercials and being told by our work and other people that we're supposed to invest in 401ks and IRAs. This is why 90% of people that win the lottery are bankrupt. That's right. 90% of people that win the lottery go bankrupt. Something like 2/3 of professional athletes are in financial trouble in less than 5 years, despite the crazy money that they get paid. So what do I recommend? What am I talking about? A strategy we call buy a money machine. We're going to buy a machine that prints money and gives you money regularly. So let's say you take that 200K and you invest it and you get 14% ROI. What does that look like? Each year, you're going to get 8% of that investment back as cash. And at the end of 5 years, the total amount that you would have received through the lifetime of the investment will double. Okay, so 5 years, 200K will go to 400K, and it's your choice if you want to spend the cash on cash each year or if you want to save it up. Now, this one that I'm showing you, I would call a good multifamily investment, like an apartment complex. 8% cash on cash return on average, a 2x multiplier in 5 years. That's going to be better than most, but I'm finding these. I have partners that are finding these. They're out there in the current market. The market's always changing. This one's out there now. So what does that mean dollar wise? So you invest 200K. The first thing you're going to receive is probably a potentially massive tax benefits. It depends on your accountant, depends on your situation, where you live, all kinds of stuff here, right? But in the United States today, and for the last many years, we have never had enough housing for all of the households and families that need housing. Therefore, the government offers tax incentives to people like you and me to invest in multifamily housing and provide housing. That's why we get the tax benefits. It's not some scam. It's so that we can provide the basic need of housing. I know when I'm investing my money, I like knowing I'm providing the basic needs for someone. Okay, enough. Going on. Let's talk about money. So you receive a massive tax benefit with a K1 at the end of the following tax year. Each year, you should receive, on average, $16,000 per year for 4 years if everything goes as projected, right? These are projections. This is assuming everything goes as projected. You get $16,000 a year in cash that you can spend on stuff on the left. Now imagine if you get $16,000 per year, you can pay off some bills. You can take some luxury vacations. You can you can make payments on a fancy car at $16,000 a year. So you can still do the stuff on the left, but you have just invested it in a money machine. Now, at the end of year 5, you're going to get $336,000 back if everything goes exactly as projected. Now, let's say you take that 336 and you invest it again, you're going to get even more massive tax benefits because you got to offset the 336 that you got in that year. And let's say if you invested at 8% cash on cash return with the 2x multiplier after 5 years, you're going to now be getting $26,880 per year for 4 years. You can buy even cooler stuff that's there on the left. And at year 5, you're going to get over $500,000. So folks, do you see how buying the money machine is going to provide for your lifestyle and grow your nest egg? Where the YOLO strategy on the left, it's gone in a couple of weeks. Let's learn to buy the money machine. Okay, now 200K, most people are not going to get 200K in a year with your tax returns or with a gift, whatever bonus. So on the example on the left is what you can expect at 100K. On the right is how the money works if you invest 50K. And again, if things go as projected. Sometimes they're better than projected. Sometimes they're not. It depends on what's going on in the market, in the economy, with the government. It varies. But over the long term, these are the numbers that can happen. All right. So my question to you, is it worth doing something different than you've done before? Do you see how the buy a money machine strategy can change your life forever? I'm recording this in February of 2025. A lot of bonuses are going to be coming in March of 2025, and tax returns will be coming in March, April, and May of 2025. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to spend it and it'll be gone and you'll be in the same place where you started? Or are you going to try and learn about this buy a money machine strategy? If not now, when? Time matters, folks. You talk to any investor, they will tell you the most important thing that is in your favor is time. The best time to invest is always 50 years ago. Second best time to invest is right now. So a lot of investors talk in money doubles. That's why I use the 2x multiplier in 5 years, because a lot of people will tell you in 5 years or in 7 years, how much will your money have grown? 2x means it doubles. If you're getting a 7% rate of return, like a lot of financial advisors will say to shoot for 6 or 8% so they can get paid, your money will double about every 10 years. If you're getting a 10% rate of return, which is the very long-term stock market average, you will get about 7 years. And if you get about a 14% rate of return, your money will double at about every 5 years. So what does that look like? Let's say you're 40 years old and you have $50,000. However old age you are now, you can do this. And I would encourage you to do this math with your spouse or with your investing partner or whatever it is. But let's just say if you retire in 30 years, so you're 40 years old now, when you're 70 years old, you retire. And throughout that time, you get a 7% return on investment. Remember, at 7%, your money doubles every 10 years. So that means your 50K will double 3 times. That means 50K over 10 years will become 100K. 10 years later, it'll become 200K. And when you turn 70 years old, it'll become $400,000. Not bad. And of course, that does not include money that you're putting in along the way. But I'm just trying to show you a simple example. Now, let's say you want to retire at age 68 and you're getting a 10% rate of return. 50K is going to double 4 times. So your 50K will double to 100K in 7 years. Then it doubles to 200, then to 400, then to 800K at age 68. Once again, it doesn't include what you put in along the way. Okay, let's say you want to retire in 25 years and you get a 14% rate of return on these investments. 50K will double 5 times. So you put in 50K, it goes to 100, to 200, to 400, to 800, to 1.6 million at age 65. Let's say you want to retire at age 70. 1.6 goes to 3.2. Now remember, with this purple strategy, the one down there at the bottom, remember how you get some cash on cash return every year? Would you rather be getting cash on cash return by investing 400K, or would you rather be getting cash on cash return by investing 1.6 or 3.2 million? Okay, obviously it's the latter, but you got to start now. You got to be smart with your money and you got to be able to find these investments. That's what I'm doing now. I'm finding these investments and I'm partnering with people that find these investments. In fact, I had one reach out to me just before I hit record and he says, Brad, let me know. Do you want to learn about it? And I said, hey, I'm fully invested right now, but I may have some people that are looking for stuff. So hook me up. Tell me what's up and I'll help some people. Let's help people together. All right. Now, again, this assumes zero volatility. This assumes everything hits their projections. Nothing goes under, nothing goes over. And it also assumes you add no more money, which is a false assumption, right? Because a lot of people, their income goes up as they get older. But I want to show you the numbers. I want to show you how the numbers work. Spoiler alert, for me and my family, we're doing the purple strategy because our goal in retirement is to get that 1.6 or that 3.2 million, and we're going to live off the cash flow from it. And then every 5 years or so, we're going to get a bump in our cash spending. Why is that important? Inflation, people. Over the long-term moving average of inflation over the last 100 years or so, it's going to be about 4%. Yeah, it's been higher recently. Before that, it was lower. The long-term moving average for inflation is about 4%. I don't care that the government is saying they want to get it to 2%. The government's going to say something different every 4 years. 4% is the number, and at 4%, prices will triple every 30 years. They will double every 18 years. Okay, so you need to be planning in your retirement to still be growing your income. Now, which retirement are you planning for? Because if you are failing to plan, you are planning to fail. We got 2 waterfalls here. The one on the left, a nice little trickle. It'll provide enough water for you and your family, but you got to be careful. You got to hope that prices don't go up too much. You got to hope that taxes don't go too up. Don't go up too much. You got to hope that the government isn't going to change your Social Security or whatever's going on over there. There's a lot of hope on the left. If you've heard any of my videos, you'll hear me say, invest on logic, not on hope. Now, the one on right, the waterfall over here on the right, is the metaphor for having some money invested in multifamily apartments, have some money invested in vacation rentals, have some money invested in a medical complex in Atlanta, I don't know, and have some money invested in energy like oil and gas. The new thing is nuclear. They're making these nuclear plants now. They're in modules and they're much, much smaller than the old one. And the new nuclear energy actually uses the waste products of the old nuclear energy. So nuclear is getting very cool these days. But the whole point is spread it around, get multiple streams of income that are growing as you get towards your retirement and into your retirement. It still provides more and diversified sources of income. Let's work on this thing over here on the right. Work with me. That's what I'm working on. I will help you. Okay, I'm going to skim through this because I covered it in another video. That book up there on the right, Tony Robbins' Holy Grail of Investing, also written with Christopher Zook. Great book if you want to see how wealthy people are investing. Spoiler alert, Peter Mallouk did a seminar in June 24 where he surveyed the ultra wealthy people and how they allocate their investments. Their largest allocation is in real estate. That's what I'm doing right now, folks. That's what I'm putting together, multifamily apartment complexes. Here's a quote from the book, page 108. Buy it, read it. Tax efficient income, potentially unlimited tax deferral and tax avoidance of all capital gains are precisely why many of nation's wealthiest families are real estate dynasties. Again, the government is offering tax incentives because for a very, very, very long time, we are not keeping up with the demands of housing and places for people to live in the United States. That's why we get the tax write-offs. If you don't like the tax write-offs, don't take them. Pay your taxes. That's fine. But still invest in a way that which grows your income. All right, how to get started. You may or may not like this slide. If you're really not going to like the next slide. We have to know each other. The way a lot of these investments are set up, I have to have a relationship with you. I have to know who you are. I need to know about your financial status to make sure that whatever you have presented to me, that I am presenting appropriate investments for you. So if you tell me you have $25,000 ready to go and the minimum is $100,000 for the next investment, I'm not going to bring that one to you. Now, typically, $50,000 is the minimum. A lot of people don't have $50,000 ready to go. If you do, that's great. Cash is king. Maybe you've got a self-directed IRA. Maybe you've got an old company 401k at a job you no longer work at. It takes some work. It takes some moving around, but we can use this money. I am going to try to structure something that makes it available for one or two people at less than $50,000. Now, why is $50,000 the minimum? It's because when you get into these types of syndications, they are really expensive. And the more investors you have, the more complex it gets. There's more accounting work, more legal work. It just becomes a whole lot more work. Therefore, most of the people running the investments, they need to keep it at a fewer number of investors to stay sane, to keep the returns where the investors want to invest in them. I don't know how I'm going to figure it out, but I am going to figure out how I get a few people in at under the minimum. But we got to have the relationship. You got to clicky there. Oh, one other thing. On a lot of these, you got to be accredited. I know there's a lot of people that don't like Donald Trump, but one thing that he tried to do his last time in office is change the rules to be accredited. So if I have it right now, to be accredited, you have to be making $200,000 a year if you're single, $300,000 a year if you're married, and that income has to be proven for at least 2 years. Or you have to have $1 million net worth, not including your personal residence. That's hard to do, but the government says if you have that kind of money, it means you're sophisticated enough to understand these types of investments. Donald Trump says, hey, that's ludicrous. There's lots of idiots with a lot of money. Let's make it a test. So you study, you pass the test, and then you are sophisticated enough to handle these types of investments. So keep an eye on that and see if Donald Trump will push that through or some lawmakers will push that through. Then this minimum may change. There's going to be a very large document called a private placement memorandum. There's a lot of legalese. You'll have to look at it, study it, and understand it before you can get into an investment. There's not a test, but it does talk about all the things that can go wrong. It talks about how the payouts will work and what happens if things go bad. If you don't understand it, I'm not allowed to help you, which kind of sucks, but that's what the lawyers want. They got to get paid, and they don't want people that are not sophisticated helping you out. There also will be tax implications. So there either may be tax burdens, there may be tax benefits, but you have to talk to your accountant to understand how each particular investment could pertain to you. I am not, well, let's see, I'm no longer an investment professional. Some of y'all remember me back when I had my FINRA 6, 63, and 65. I do not carry those anymore. But I cannot advise you on tax stuff, legal stuff, or investing stuff. So you must seek licensed, certified, whatever it is, competent professional that can advise you. That's what's coming up. All right, folks, here's the thing you're really not going to like. Crazy things happen in investing. And when I say crazy things, I mean like a wildfire can come through one of America's most major cities and there's no water in the fire hydrants and they turn away fire trucks trying to help. That happened. Gangs from foreign countries can hijack an apartment and they can be collecting rents from the tenants and not giving the landlord anything. The U.S. government does nothing, but the landlord and all those investors still have to pay their mortgage. They still have to pay their insurance. They still have to pay all of their expenses, even though the U.S. government is letting some gang from a foreign country take all of that income. That happened in Denver, and I heard it happen in Chicago as well. What if interest rates skyrocket? Now, we've learned a lot of lessons, but there are some apartment complexes out there that are on floating interest rates. Interest rates went up the fastest they have in the last 50 years, and a lot of people with the floating interest rates got kerbolished. Crazy things can happen. Interest rates can change faster than they have in 50 years. Oh, remember COVID? Government was allowing tenants not to pay rents and telling landlords you can't evict them. But guess what? The landlord still had to pay insurance. The landlord still had to pay utilities. The landlord still had to pay mortgage payments. But the government told the landlord, sorry, you just figure it out, make money out of nothing. Crazy things happen. What if 2008 happens again? Now, 2008 was scary when it happened, but looking back, there's really a period of about 2 years. So if we're holding this apartment complex and the market goes down, we'll just operate it and collect the income and make money until the market comes back. That's really not that big of a deal. I know it was scary when it happened, but all of this to say, folks, when we're running an apartment complex, there are challenges. We are highly paid problem solvers. Most of y'all that know me know I was a Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt for Fortune 500 companies, and all I did was go around and solve problems and teach people how to solve problems. If stuff happens, can we still be friends? That's what I want to know, because there will be an investment that goes bad. I have had friends where apartments burned down. I have a friend, there was an oil and gas rig, and they drilled, they didn't get anything. Okay, stuff happens. Investing carries risk. Can we be friends? If yes, scan that QR code. Let's get started. If no, that's fine. You go do your stuff. I'm going to continue doing my stuff. And yeah, there's risk, but I mitigate the risk by trying to get multiple different channels. And if you read the Tony Robbins book that I showed, The Holy Grail of Investing, it also shows you how to mitigate risk. I'm willing to take the risk. If you're not, that's fine. If you are, you want to understand it, you want to talk to me about how I mitigate risk, scan the QR code. Let's get going. But folks, how are you going to make your annual bonus or tax return change your life? If you don't do it with me, do it with someone else, but make a difference. Start planning for your retirement so you get that multiple streams of income, that overflowing of abundance, so that you can take care of yourselves and your family. You can achieve your financial dreams, and you can give generously to your community. Folks, thanks for watching this video. No matter how you invest your time, your love, your money, or your energy, always invest on logic, not on hope. God bless you.